Okay, now let's discuss the Surangama Sutra. This sutra is quite a nuisance. I really don't like to explain it. Because without the experience, no matter how it's explained, it will not be understood. But once you have the experience, and no matter how it's explained, it will be understood. But without the experience, even when you hear it, you cannot understand its truthfulness. So now Ananda said, here in this multi-storied lecture hall, whether I look far to the Ganges River or up at the sun and moon, everything I point to with my hand or gaze upon with my eyes are all objects. None of them is seeing itself. World Honored One, just as you have said, how could I, a sravaka still bound by defilements or outflows, and even the bodhisattvas, cannot possibly extract the pure seeing from among all phenomena as something with the nature of its own? So Ananda said, today I'm inside this lecture hall. Anathapindika's lecture hall. There are a total of 7 halls inside the Anathapindika monastery, 7 to 8. Multi-storied lecture hall. And across you can see the Ganges River. So in the Anathapindika, you can look up and see the sun and the moon. And using your finger to point to the sun and the moon, and what the eyes see are all objects or things. They're all things. Now what we see are all things. This is a microphone. What Grandmaster wears is a dragon robe without dragons. This is the Lama robe. This is the monk's bag. And in front there is an incense burner, and behind there are the Buddha images, and all the eyes see, those are the blessing lights. So everything that you see are all objects or things, not the seeing itself or the wondrous, luminous true mind. So you can see the wondrous, luminous true mind. So Sakyamuni Buddha, as you, the Buddha, has said, Ananda is just a sravaka, a beginner, still bound by outflows or defilements. He's still afflicted, so that's called he still has outflows. Only when you exhaust all your afflictions, then you're called non-leaking. Anyone here is non-leaking, which means has no afflictions whatsoever? That you're completely without any afflictions. There should be some. Someone. The retarded ones. They don't understand anything, so they have no afflictions. But generally speaking, everyone still have leakages or outflows, which means they have not attained exhaustive outflows. So, non-leakages in the body and mind. The non-leakages in the mind means you have no afflictions at all. So Ananda said that himself, that he is a beginner to learn sravaka yana, which is the lesser vehicle. The Dharma, the Buddha Dharma of the lesser or smaller vehicle, sravaka yana. And there are also pratyekayana and bodhisattva yana and Buddhayana, or the vehicles of the Buddha. Those are the four sexual realms. At the lowest level is the sravaka yana. And even the bodhisattvas, the great bodhisattvas, cannot possibly, in front of all objects or things, manifest the wondrous, luminous true mind. That they have their own nature apart from all things or objects. But apart from all objects, there is no wondrous, luminous true mind. That's what he said. And the Buddha responded, so it is, so it is. What does that mean? So it is. That's how it is. What you said was right. Everything that you see is things, and you cannot see the wondrous, luminous true mind. All the sravakas cannot see the wondrous, luminous true mind. And even the bodhisattvas, all bodhisattvas also cannot see the wondrous, luminous true mind. Sakyamuni Buddha said, so it is, just right. That's what it meant. Then Sakyamuni Buddha repeated to Ananda, as you have said, there is no pure seeing apart from all things that has its own nature. Then among all the objects you pointed to, none of them is seeing. Now let me ask you again. Here you sit with the Tathagata in the Jeta Grove, and as you look at the forest, the garden, up to the sun and moon, though all appearances are different, not a single one among them is the pure seeing receiving your pointing. But now, can you point out and identify which of these things is not seeing? Ananda said, I do indeed see this entire Jeta Grove all around me, yet I do not know which among them is not seeing. Why? If the tree is seeing, then how can I see the tree? If the tree is not seeing, then how can it still be called a tree? In the same way, if space is not seeing, how can it be perceived as space? But if space is seeing, then how can it still be called space? Thinking further, I realize, among all these myriad phenomena, even down to the subtlest detail, there is nothing that is not seen. That is not seeing. So Sakyamuni Buddha said, that's right. And Sakyamuni Buddha repeated to Ananda, what you said, that you cannot see the wondrous, luminous true mind. And apart from all objects, there is also self-nature. But apart from all things, there is no wondrous, luminous, true mind. Now, you use your hand to point to all the things that you point to. None of them is the wondrous, luminous, true mind. But now let me tell you again. You and the Tathagata sit in the Anattapindika's inside, and you can see the trees, the monastery, the sun, the moon, all different appearances or phenomena. But you cannot see the wondrous, luminous, true mind. Everything that you point with your finger is not the wondrous, luminous, true mind. And you can feel that of all these things, which one is not seeing? So everything is wondrous, luminous, true mind. So Ananda said again, I do indeed see this entire Anattapindika all around me, but I do not know which among them is not seeing. What is there is not the wondrous, luminous, true mind? Why is it? Because if the tree is not seeing, when you see a tree, it is not the wondrous, luminous, true mind. How can you see the tree? Because you can only see due to the wondrous, luminous, true mind. So how come you see the tree? But if the tree is wondrous, luminous, true mind, then what is the tree? So what is the tree? In the same way, if space or sky is not the wondrous, luminous, true mind, then how can one see the space or the sky? But if the sky is wondrous, luminous, true mind, then why is it called the sky or space? So now I'm thinking, Ananda, among all this myriad phenomena, even down to the subtlest detail, there is nothing that is not seeing. So of all the things, mountain, rivers, and the great earth, and everything on it, they are actually all the wondrous, luminous, true mind. The wondrous, luminous, true mind. So going back and forth. And the Buddha said, exactly so, exactly so. That's how it is. What you said was right. At that moment, even those in the great assembly who were beyond learning were bewildered upon hearing the Buddha's words. They were confused, unable to grasp the meaning from beginning to end. All at once they became alarmed and unsettled, losing their composure. The Tathagata, knowing that their spirits were shaken and their minds disturbed, felt compassion for them. He comforted Ananda and the entire assembly, saying, "Good man, the Supreme Dharma King speaks words of truth. What has been spoken is just as it is, neither deceptive nor false. It is not like the false and confused speculation or the 4 kinds of immortal doctrines taught by Makali." Reflect on this deeply and do not let your sincere yearning be in vain. So Sakyamuni Buddha said, Ananda, what you said was right. So at that moment, the audience in the assembly who have not truly enlightened, which were many of them, upon hearing Sakyamuni Buddha's words, became confused and could not understand, even after hearing so much. All of a sudden they became alarmed, nervous, confused, and losing their composure, become dumbfounded, muddle-headed. So the Tathagata, knowing that the spirits were shaken, that all the audience, heart, mind, felt confused, did not know what's the real meaning of all that. And they felt very unsettled and fearful. So Sakyamuni Buddha felt compassion for them, comforted Ananda and all the audience, saying, good man, you're all good spiritual cultivators. Referring to himself as the Supreme Dharma King, the Buddha speaks words of truth. Only speak truthfully. What has been spoken is the wondrous, luminous, true mind. Neither deceptive or false. It's not a lie. It's not like Makali's. We can say that he's holding the view of the heretics, false and confused speculation of the 4 kinds of immortal doctrines, which I'll explain later. So, reflect on this deeply and do not let your sincere yearning be in vain. So, do not lose your aspiration for the ultimate truth, for the Buddha Dharma. You wish to understand and gain the Buddha Dharma, but you don't understand. So Makali's 4 kinds of immortality. So Sakyamuni Buddha is giving Dharma teaching and said that what I say is true. I don't lie or deceive you. But there are differing views of the heretics, 4 kinds of views. Now let's first talk about reincarnation. They have never experienced reincarnation, those people, when they were alive. But how did they teach the reincarnation? They thought that they believed that what they thought with their mind is reincarnation. So they only think about it in their brains and then teach everyone. That's wrong. Talking about the 3 evils, about good and bad. That's the second, talking about good and bad. It's neither good nor bad. This kind of concept, what is good, what is bad, there's nothing to say about it. So that's incorrect views in India. There were 4 kinds. And one more, many of their viewpoints are from other people's words. And then when they think that, that makes sense to them, and then they start talking about it themselves, but they never experience them themselves. They have never underwent the reincarnation or birth and death. So their concept or principle about birth and death is not normal, it's not right. Sometimes it's just something that they think of with their brain. Or sometimes they heard it from other people and they accepted it and then repeated it to others. It's not their own experience. So issues about birth and death, about cause and effect, about good and bad, about reincarnation, were all thought about by themselves or heard from other people, and then they followed and repeated it to others. So they're not the right views. Like Sakyamuni Buddha said that his teaching is the only one that's right view. But what's spoken by others, like those by the heretics, are not necessarily right. Some heretics said that upon death there is nothing, and then people believe that. Then there would be no cause and effect. No cause and effect. And there's nothing called good or bad. What is reincarnation or rebirth? And they don't know unless you experience it yourself. That's spoken by Sakyamuni Buddha. Confusing speculations or incorrect viewpoints, 4 kinds. Only Sakyamuni Buddha's is the right viewpoint. The rest are just thought about by the brains and then or spoken by people, and then they followed and copied and to say the same thing. So in reality you should know yourself. Look like the Siddhigarbha Sutra. One example, the chapter on the gathering of the split bodies. So Sakyamuni Buddha has numerous split bodies or emanation bodies, and they all together went to the Triyatrimsa heaven, and many of the split bodies gathered to become one Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, all together listening to the teachings of Sakyamuni Buddha. That's the chapter on the gathering of the split bodies in Siddhigarbha Sutra. So only when they have enlightenment that they have split bodies. If they have not gained enlightenment, how can they have split bodies? And now we call it Dharma bodies. Dharma bodies. So any of you here who have seen Grandmaster's Dharma bodies? Anyone have seen Grandmaster's Dharma bodies? Give her the microphone. Let her say a few words. Those who have seen Grandmaster's Dharma bodies.
Grandmaster, many times when I was living in California prior to coming to the temple, I would be doing Guru yoga and join union with you, and it seemed like you never left me. I got up, went into the shower, you came with me. I would get in my car to go to work, and you would be in the seat with me, and you would speak to me many, many times, and you gave me lots of directions on how to get here and what to do. And even when I had no money, I had time. You said, you're going to be coming. And I said, what? I have no money. It's after Christmas. And I came here, it's December 31st on New Year's, 2023. It was about 2 years after I took refuge. I got done with you, speaking to you in meditation. And I said, I have no money. How am I going to get to see Grandmaster? And I went in the other room, and all of a sudden I picked up the phone, and I was telling my sisters about this today. It was as if somebody else was channeling the information. I called my mom, and I said, hey, Mom, do you want to go up to see Grandmaster? She doesn't even know who Grandmaster is. She just knows he healed me because I was in a wheelchair, a walker in a cane, and he healed me. And so she said, I'll give you my credit card. And she gave me the money and the stuff to come up and see you that time. So every time I just have faith that you're going to take care of everything for me to come see you.
So, Master Lian Sheng, please translate. This is the translation into Chinese.
其实他认为他的经验里面，无时无刻师尊都是在他身边的。在修法中，师尊也会显现跟他合一的，然后也会跟他指示。然后即使他去洗澡，师尊也是跟他在一起。然后他如果去开车的时候，师尊的法身也在车子里面，然后会跟他在一起，跟他指导他很多事情。然后他讲说，他是2021年皈依的，因为2023年的时候他才皈依两。然后那时候他本来他是坐在轮椅上的，然后走路的时候需要用拐杖，但是师尊，他皈依了师尊的加持，所以他康复了，就可以走路。然后那个时候他没有钱，但是他很想来。2023年的12月31号，他很想来西雅图见师尊。然后他就在想说，他没有钱，那怎么来见师尊？这个时候呢，他觉得他感受到，好像是师尊佛菩萨在帮他引导，然后呢，通过别种途径，然后他就跟他妈妈讲说他想来，结果他妈妈本来不认识师尊的，他就跟他的妈妈介绍以后，他妈妈说好，没问题，你可以用我的信用卡，所以他就可以来西雅图见师尊。所以他讲的意思是，从他皈依到现在，无时无刻师尊的法身都是跟他在一起，指导他在禅定中指导他，在生活中指导他，而且帮助他度过很多困境的。阿弥陀佛。
像这种事情
So these kinds of things
在一般的
in
像我们现在现实的世界里面
in our
是不可能发
real
生。
world is impossible to occur.
我用这个来比妙明真
And I use this to make analogy of the wondrous, luminous true mind. So, to mean that the wondrous, luminous true mind is for you, cannot be seen, but it can manifest. So, cannot be seen, but it can manifest. But it is beyond imagination. It is unimaginable. So all the seeing is extraordinary seeing. It's not the ordinary seeing. It's not like what you normally see. In a specific time, specific moment, or you can see the Dhamma bodies all the time, the split bodies. So we can say that this is the light of your own heart that radiates, or we can say the emission of the heart light. When the light of your heart is emitted, then you can see. But you cannot see with your physical eyes the light of the heart. But sometimes the physical eyes can also see. Why? Why? Because at that time, your physical eyes are also the wondrous, luminous true mind. But they are also not wondrous, luminous true mind. But they are also your wondrous, luminous true mind. They are and they are not. There are many special things or occurrences at any time. One time, I was on the plane on the way back to Taiwan. My eyes were closed, almost falling asleep. And in front of me, someone was kneeling right in front of my seat on the plane. So I asked him, "What's going on? What's up?" He didn't say anything. And used his hand to point to the sky, point up, and look up. And I saw him. "Oh, how come it's you?" And he nodded his head and pointing to the sky. And I told him, "Okay, I understand what you mean." So on the plane, I performed the bardo deliverance to bardo deliver him. Upon arrival in Taiwan, I asked that disciple, and they said he was sick and died. When? And they told me the time was the time when I saw him on the plane. That's very strange. I wasn't thinking of him. I recognized him. He's a disciple.
我回台湾弘法，
I was returning to Taiwan to propagate Buddha Dharma,
要睡觉
and
的
on
时
the
候看到
plane,
他，
just before falling asleep, I saw him kneeling right in front of me
用手指头去
and using his hand to point to the sky.
了解他的意思。
I understood what he meant and performed Bardo
回
deliverance.
去以后问他跟我
And
讲，
upon arriving, I discovered that he passed away.
就是在我飞机
And his time
坐
of
飞机
death was when I was on that plane.
他来找我，
He came to find me.
像这个事情，
So, like this kind of thing,
我们并没有刻意去想它，
we did not think intentionally,
但是他来，
but he came.
像这种不可思议的事情，
So, like this kind of inconceivable
就
occurrences
是妙明真心性显现的时候，那一个
are
时
the
刻，
time or the moment
一种
of
一种
the
道教
wondrous, luminous, true mind manifesting, a kind of spiritual experiences, a
他不可能在飞机
kind
上
of，
他不可能在飞机上，但是他出现在飞
it's
机上，
not possible for him to be on the plane, but he appeared on the plane.
我只是用这个来比喻。
I just use this as an analogy. What is the wondrous, luminous, true mind? That at any time,
有特殊的情形出现，
there is extraordinary things happening, then it would appear.
而不是我们一般人可以想象得到。
It's not
一般人
something
现实的世界，
ordinary people
没有
can
机
think
票，
of.
你哪里能够上飞机啊？
In the normal world,
我怎么
how
会
can you
看
get
得
on the
那么清楚？
plane without a ticket? How could I see him so clearly?
这个座椅的前面，你
Right
跪在
in
那，
front of my seat, you're kneeling there.
怎么到飞机上去找我？
How could he get on the plane to find me?
他一定有他的这个，有他的这个力量，
He must have his power too.
然后让我有力量看到你，
And
然后再帮你。
let me have the power to see you and then help you, but to deliver it.
所以法身的事情，
So the things about the Dharma bodies are a kind of manifestation of the wondrous, luminous, true mind. It is extraordinary. It's
师尊的肉身不在，
different. One day, when Grandmaster's Dharma bodies disappear,
莲花生大师他可以显现出来。
I believe that Guru Padmasambhava can appear. My mother can come.
我招请他，他也
When I
可以出现。
invoke her, she can also appear. It's the same.
我招请莲花生大师，
When I
莲花生
invoke
大师
Guru Padmasambhava,
会显
Guru
现在我面前。
Padmasambhava can appear in front of me all the same.
是无所不在，
He's
也是
omnipresent.
非常稀有。
He's everywhere. And also very rare and
我只
extraordinary.
能够用这种比喻，
Oh,
因为
it's also
除
very
了我用这种比喻以外，
illusory. I can only use these analogies because other than this, there's nothing else.
有释迦牟尼佛跟阿难尊者讲，
So Sakyamuni Buddha
跟
told
所有
Ananda
在座的人讲妙明
and
真
to
心，
all in the
大家都
assembly
茫然。
about the wondrous, luminous, true mind, and everybody
阿难
is
尊者讲了半
confused
天，也
and
故事又说
still befuddled, not knowing what it is about. And after so much explanations, Ananda was still wondered, where is the wondrous luminous true mind? What does it look like? What is the form? What kind of thing it is? But it is not a thing. It has no form. It's neither big nor small. It's not big and it's not small. And you see it's not, but it is. But it is, but it is not. That's how it is. I don't lie. But truly, there are many illnesses. Just with the blessing on the head, they are cured. So how do you explain? There was one who got blessing for 100 times and still not cured, but there are others who just got the blessing once and recovered. What's going on? The surgeries were never done, and the problems disappeared. Twice, Indonesian disciples in the operation, they saw that the surgeon was grandmaster. But I have never studied medicine, I'm not a surgeon. How can I perform surgery on you? But strangely, the doctor, when he took off the mask, and then they saw me, and then saw that grandmaster performing surgery on him. And it was a brain surgery. And then someone with the brain hemorrhage, there's blood clot. The wife was next to him, watching him in the hospital. And the wife was drowsing and saw me coming in, walking in, and then extended my hand onto his brain and took the blood clot and showed her, look, the blood clot, and then disappeared. And the next day, when the doctor examined, and the blood clot from the brain hemorrhage disappeared. Those were all manifestations of the wondrous luminous true mind. That's all I can explain. Om Mani Padme Hum.